features, how to accent others. Lady Science has done all right by you. You sure look swell. Uh-oh, now she's gone and ruined everything. But Beauty Science could have helped her here, too.
Obviously, in the last century's commercial world, which was filled with stereotypes but have great influences on consumer and publics, bias and constraints against girls who wear glasses were shown. In this vintage advertisement, the suggestion of what types of glasses for different face shape and occasion are perfectly planned, as if a beautiful girl wearing glasses is a regret, and glasses become a sin that must be seriously remedied. However, if it is not to say that women wearing glasses are a threat to fashion, they actually leave this general impression representing female intelligence, rationality, professionalism, and many good energy. If we were to give an example, about a very sudden twist, here at one of the AFI Awards, the master of suspense Hitchcock was thanking one of the most important women with glasses in his life. And he understood so much of to honor everything this excellent lady with glasses was.
The first of the four is a film editor. The second is a scriptwriter. The third is the mother of my daughter Pat. And the fourth is as fine a cook as ever performed miracles in a domestic kitchen. And their names are Alma Ravila.
Recently, I had the opportunity to revisit many of Hitchcock's works, and somehow, these ordinary prop glasses often attract my attention, especially when they were worn by females. I'm wondering, did Hitchcock view these screen ladies with glasses as him to view Alma Ravila? We all know that Hitchcock often touched on themes of gaze or voyeurism in creative ways, and in which glasses frequently appears. Putting on glasses, taking off glasses, or similar actions are also granted different meanings. There seems to be some invisible consensus about glasses, but few of them are mentioned. Moreover, glasses have a fascinating relationship with the various female characters in his films. In this video essay, you will see how these connections are formed and for what purposes glasses and female characters are depicted. Perhaps many of the representations of classes, gender, and the relationships between watching and being watched were formed in the last century and have not changed until nowadays. With the role of Lena in Suspicion, John Fontaine won the Oscar of that year. Lena is a beautiful and somewhat rebellious heiress who almost unexpectedly had presbyopia, meaning she needed glasses to read. And reading on the train, she met this man Johnny. In this long shot, the audience follows Johnny's perspective as he looks at Lena, from bottom to the top, thoroughly. Then the camera stops on Lena's face with glasses. Unusual in Hitchcock's films, the first encounter in Suspicion between the two main characters did not result in love at first sight. It was not until their second encounter at the racecourse, when Lena took off her glasses, that their love truly began.
What do you do?
Mary Ann Doan once stated in her article about the female spectator that men rarely seduce women with glasses. She further explained that women wearing glasses represent rationality, unattainability, intelligence, pride, and insight, but at the moment when they take off the glasses, they are transformed into a spectacle, a proper object of desire. This concept is perfectly illustrated through Johnny's perspective. Similarly, it is as if Lena truly connected with Johnny and fell in love with him only after taking off her glasses. This is the first row of glasses in the film, and they appear again in the second half of the film with a different power. It is also an interesting use, but let's talk about it later. In my favorite Hitchcock film, Vertigo, there is also an important female character who wears glasses, Midge. Midge is the opposite of Madeline. Madeline represents this image of a perfect blonde girl, a Disney fantasy that draws people in, just like her hairstyle. Midge, on the other hand, is a down-to-earth woman with a decent and worthwhile job, good thoughts, good energy, and creativity. She actively chooses and pursues her love in Scotty twice. Her glasses is a proof of her hard work. She represents one of the few depictions of realities in this film. She continuously persuades Scotty to discuss Madeline's case and helps him overcome his fear of heights. However, this pair of glasses seems to be the reason for her failed love. It is not only because of the notion of how girls with glasses are unattractive to men, but also because of the way Mitch looks at Scotty. Due to her glasses, it seems that Scotty cannot receive her love gaze. In Mitch's apartment, Scotty and Mitch have a heated conversation. But even though there are continuous dialogues, their eye contact is interrupted. When Scotty looks away, Mitch is looking at him. But when he looks back, Mitch is looking at her work. Glasses further obstructed their communication.
It's brand new. Revolutionary uplift. No shoulder straps and no back straps, but does everything a brassiere should do.
Here is a comparison of the scenes filled with desire between Scotty and Madeline, in which we can feel the different atmosphere that Hitchcock intentionally created.
You better come over here by the fire where it's warm.
Like their eyes are just so stable.
What am I doing here? What happened?
Well, you fell into San Francisco Bay.
There is a more obvious segment that appears in North by Northwest. A strange man appears in her room, and she is very frightened. However, when she puts on her glasses and notices his charming appearance, she suddenly begins to appreciate this encounter.
Stop!
Oh, excuse me.
Stop!
Glasses in these contexts give these girls insights, but also place them in a position of longing for the love they often cannot attain. Despite this, the love for some female characters is not blocked by glasses, while there are other things blocked.
Come in. You ruined a very interesting card game, Dr. Peterson.
Dr. Constance Peterson in Spellbound is a very talented psychoanalyst who works in a hospital and lives a decent life until she meets Dr. Edward. She devotes her time to scientific research, while did not wear glasses the first time she met Dr. Edward. Love at first sight hereby happened.
Dr. Peterson, how do you do?
Dr. Edwards.
In this love story they weave together, she's still a symbol of desire. Audiences are led to watch her but not watch with her. On the night they date, she comes to Dr. Edward's place, holding a book and says, "I came for professional discussion." But she even does not wear glasses that can help her to read. So, as imagined, she's here to fall in love. And yes, she feels deeply. And Hitchcock associates the showing of her heart with this very brilliant Freudian depiction here. In the first half of Spellbound, glasses here represent the obstacle of emotional connection, while on the second half of the story, there is more than just this that is obstructed. As Dr. Edward's secret gradually comes to light, Dr. Constance also gradually becomes suspicious of him. At this very moment, where she puts on her glasses again and confirming the different handwriting on the letter from the real Dr. Edward, she finally understands that the person in front of her is not Dr. Edward, but a patient who needs treatment for mental disorder. Through glasses, the gate to the truth is opened. Having said that, I would like to unveil the second half of suspicion that has been put aside. Hitchcock clearly confirms this role of glasses here. In this second half, Hitchcock shows us the power of suspicion. Along with female character Lena's perspective, we view Johnny as a time bomb. He is proved to be a good guy one second, while then being brought into the suspicion in the next. Once again, Lena puts on her glasses to read the texts. Similar plots appear 3 times. The police brings the news of the death of Johnny's best friend, which rekindles Lena's suspicion of Johnny. When she reads Johnny's letter explaining his inability to repay a loan, and when she reads the insurance company's rejection letter stating that only after the death of Johnny's wife, which is herself, can the loan be paid off. After these 3 important times of reading, Lena gradually becomes convinced that she is going to die at the hands of Johnny. Being a passive character who relies on Johnny for her livelihood after breaking with her family, Lena officially emerged a threat towards Johnny here. Glasses, worn by these 2 female characters, symbolize a subjective perspective that seeks to subvert the order. And the subversion of order is also the main source of suspense in Hitchcock's films. But ironically, although Lena sees through the so-called secret of Johnny, this act puts her in a dangerous situation. After Johnny realizes Lena's suspicion of him, there is a thrilling scene where he almost pushes her off a cliff.
Lena, what's got into you? Lena, no, stop it, you little fool, stop it! I've had enough. How much do you think a man can bear? Listen to me. You turn me out of your room, you go running off to your mother's, and now you shrink away from me as though you hated me. You're my wife, Lena.
The end of the movie proves that Lena's suspicion was wrong, and Johnny is not the villain she imagined, and she even has to plead with Johnny to reconcile and return to their happy family life.
To your mother's.
It will work, I know it will. Johnny, please.
In fact, Hitchcock's original plan for the ending was the complete opposite. But because Hollywood cannot tolerate Cary Grant's image as a murderer, Hitchcock was forced to change. This actually creates an interesting intertextuality. Hollywood's male-dominated narrative discourses cannot tolerate male actors playing the actual bad guys, while women's threat to the patriarchal system, as depicted through the glasses, is instead portrayed as a wrong outcome. Their desire for the truth makes them the bad women, and this badness needs to be forgiven by males. If this was what Hollywood wanted to convey at the time, it was rather not what Hitchcock wanted to convey. In more of his films, more women want more of the truth. In her article conceptualizing the role of the gates, Laura Mulvey states that in the majority of films, women exist as objects of the male gaze, but wearing glasses represents an active gaze that ignores the criteria of women being looked at on screen. Hitchcock, despite always filming the beautiful blonde who's watched and heard, had constructed some female characters that fell out of this criteria. Talking about the glasses being an important prop in films, we need to present Strangers on a Train. In Strangers on a Train, glasses present a thrilling murder to the audience and construct a convoluted path to the revealing of the truth. Glasses also connected 2 female characters, the murdered Miriam and the truth-seeking Barbara. Just like the other props in the film that symbolized the double concept, glasses implied the intricate connections between the 2 male leads. However, women wearing glasses seem to fit the theme of double as well, as Miriam and Barbara share some carefully designed similarities. Miriam first appears wearing thick round glasses, immediately establishing her as a free spirit and hinting at her intense gaze towards Guy. As it becomes clear from their conversation that the 2 don't meet frequently, Miriam herself actually has continuously been observing Guy from afar, and thoroughly so.
Make a pretty story. The senator's daughter involved with a married man, especially when he's about to become a father.
Are you conniving little liar?
Keep your voice down.
And Guy is clearly annoyed with the sense of being watched. Barbara's glasses, on the other hand, are a bold visual statement indicating her desire to see and to understand the world around her. In one scene, Barbara expresses sympathy for Miriam and boldly challenges her father. Her father is clearly enraged here.
One doesn't always have to say what one thinks.
Father, I am not a politician.
You won't forget that.
While this doesn't stop Barbara's frankness. It is apparent that Miriam's gaze doesn't earn her any forgiveness. When Bruno chases her at the amusement park, She boldly and defiantly returns the gaze to him.
Hang on, here we go. Hang us away, Admiral. You sure you know how to steer this submarine?
But this gaze is ultimately extinguished.
Is your name Miriam?
Oh, yes. How did you...
Her death eventually becomes a pair of glasses that Bruno shows to Guy, and they continue to threaten Guy.
Oh, what's this all about? Recognize them? It was very quick, Guy. She wasn't hurt in any way.
Another striking scene here states the same notion. When Bruno sees Barbara's glasses, they remind him of Miriam's intense gaze, and he nearly chokes the old woman in front of him.
Mr. Anthony, Mr. Anthony, help, help, help! Somebody come, quick! Help! Somebody come, quick, bring some water!
It is also worth noting that another Hitchcock film, Rope, which is often compared to Strangers on a Train, also features a female character wearing glasses, Mrs. Wilson, the housemaid. She too is rebellious, always making her own radical comments and being upfront about the evidence she sees.
After I have this cleaned off, I just have to clear all those books off the dining room table, bring them in here, and put them back in the chest, which is where they were in the first place.
Women wearing glasses here represent those who boldly challenge social norms and transcend gender boundaries of that time. Glasses are their declaration of refusal to being blinded, and the announcement of their gaze, visualistic desires, knowledge, and power to express. Nowadays, we can still see Hitchcock concepts in many films, even the award-winning and the groundbreaking ones. The discussion of the power relations arising from looking also never stops. Even more, because of the invention of contact lenses, glasses no longer become a necessity, and this further emphasizes the function it uses to shape the characters.
It's because we wear glasses.
We still see women on the screen taking off their glasses in order to pursue beauty and love, and wearing glasses to portray the image of successful intellectuals in their careers. Glasses constitute too much of the imagination of female identity on screen. Moreover, the almost established connection between the glasses and the gaze of women still exists. Girls with glasses still exist on screen and in our lives. While with more independent, charming, and dynamic images of female with glasses are depicted, it is hoped that the audience will pay more attention to what they are looking at, what they have, what they want, and the world constructed for them.